Hello, I am reporting live from my parents' house. Why? Because I'm temporarily living here again. Why? Because I don't have a job again. Hi sweeties, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Sweet Life of Mary Kay. I'm Sweet Mary Kay. Now, don't go judging and side-eyeing me. At least let me tell you what has transpired over the last year of me being in Mississippi. I have my notes, okay, because I don't want to get off topic. I don't want to ramble. I want to make sure I say everything I need to say. So I'm going to look down at my phone, okay? As most of you know, and even if you don't, I moved back to Mississippi last year in September, actually, from Dallas, Texas. In February of 2021, I moved to Dallas. Shouldn't have moved there in the first place. Rushed there, learned my lesson, and God called me back to Mississippi in September. So you can actually go watch a video that I have on it. I have several different videos about Dallas, my time there, and so forth and so on. This video is not about that. It's been a year since I moved back to Mississippi. When I moved back here in September, I came back because there was a job opportunity. Now, when I was in Dallas, I had no intentions of coming back to Mississippi. I don't care how hard it got. I did not move out just to come back home. And I would say, I'm not coming back home. I'm not moving back home. I don't want to move back with my parents. Like, I will always say that. And I believe that I ultimately created an interval, and you can do more study on what intervals are. After being in Dallas and applying for so many jobs, I applied for a lot of jobs, and mind you, I'm a licensed master social worker, so I am qualified. I could not find a position, and so my dad told me about a residential style position here in Mississippi at a boarding school that used to be a really big name type of boarding school. I'm looking down because I'm looking for my dog. Milo, he's just out. Say hi, Milo. Milo, say hi to people. Milo looks extremely different because he has a haircut now, so he's not brown and fluffy. Anyway, this video ain't about him either. My dad told me about a job, and I was like, well, I really don't want to come back to Mississippi. I left that be. I'm like, I'm still trying with Dallas. I'm gonna find me a job. Like, I'm not giving up on this just because it's hard right now. No. And so the job came back up again, and ultimately the job was a residential position for me to be over the particular boarding school's residential hall, the 11th and 12th grade girls. I would have an apartment there, which is connected to the which was connected to the resident hall. And yeah, I would come there, work there, live there full-time during the week and be off on the weekends for the most part. So I prayed about it, of course, and I just really believed that the Lord was leading me to come back. And so I took the job, not knowing it was going to be something, okay? Now, I knew that because this was a boarding school that has been around for a long time, I knew stuff wasn't going to be perfect. I actually didn't know that it was in the position in the state that it was in until after I got there. I was just under the impression that it was just like any other organization that has its challenges, but it was a little more. It was a little more. I got there and I just began to see like how difficult it was, lack of professionalism, a lot of people stuck in their ways, a lot of people making decisions that really were not useful and helpful decisions. And I just realized a lot, like, because I was one of the younger ones, I saw how they kind of handled me, talked to me. They didn't really like the boundaries that I kept. I knew that this was an assignment. I knew the Lord was teaching me something through working at this job, teaching me how to deal with people, teaching me what I don't want to do, just teaching me how to be patient, just teaching me how to be a believer. Like, you know, life ain't gonna be without suffering, so that's just what it is. When I came back to Mississippi, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have no regrets about coming back to Mississippi. Once I got here, Dallas was out of sight, out of mind. I had peace. I knew it was the Lord. I was good. About February, I started looking for another job because it really got hard and difficult at this job. It was just really didn't feel like it was worth my peace. And what I learned from that is, just because something may feel like it's not your peace, you gotta go to God. What is God saying about it? If God ain't telling you to get another job and apply and move and make a move, you gotta follow the Holy Spirit. Like, you gotta obey God. And when I went honestly to find my own job, it was in my own doing. I was like, well, I want to be in a full social work role. I want to start my clinical hours so I can be an LCSW. I want to do things my way. And so I went and got a job at another facility that wasn't the greatest facility either. And I know what you're thinking, girl, maybe you the problem. Listen, I know when I'm the problem, okay? The Holy Spirit be convicting me. But it really was, I believe it was just a lesson of like, that's why you don't move outside of his leading. So got that job, that position. I found out like on the first day that it was nothing like they said it was. When I interviewed versus when I got hired was completely different. I was supposed to have training. They was like, oh, you're not gonna have training, you're just gonna have to do it. Like it was just completely like, I was a little bamboozled. So I only worked at that position for about 2 months. Now, mind you, when I got that job, I told the job that I was working, my full-time job, which both of them were actually full-time, but I said, I'm not going to quit before the year is out because I know that it would be hard to find a replacement. I'm going to work through the end of the year. And so I told them that, and they were like, okay. So one portion of people started looking for a replacement. HR and administration side of people had not. So, you know, do what you will with that. The Lord began to change my heart and feeling like I needed to stay at the job. This was before I even resigned from the second job that I had got. I felt like the Lord was leading me to stay, and I said, okay, God, if this is you, you know, make a way. Make a way for me to have certain conversations. And if you know the organization I was working at, he needed to make a way. And so I was just even getting other little confirming words. And so I told them, I said, hey, I feel like the Lord is leading me to stay because this is a Christian school, supposed to be. And I was like, I feel like the Lord is leading me to stay. And so I'm gonna stay. So I let that be known to HR and other administrative people. I also let it be known to my direct supervisor and stuff like that. And in between that, it was a lot of he say, she say, this is that, but whatever. So I'm under the impression I'm staying because at this point, the end of the year had came. I worked through the summer. I was there. I just thought I was gonna be there, okay? So I had a conversation with the president of the school, and that's when I realized that I was on a different page than what they was on, okay? We weren't on the same page. So long story short, he redirected me to my direct supervisors. He actually redirected me back to them because there was a lot of confusion. And I found out that they were considering giving my position to the person who worked for me during the weekend. So I was waiting about 2 to 3 weeks for a decision about if I'm gonna stay in my role or if they're just gonna give it to her. It was a lot of confusion. I keep saying that because it really was confusion. And I know that part wasn't God because God ain't the author of confusion. That's what my Bible say. So ultimately, I had also received another prophetic word from someone just telling me, I know you're looking for another job because so let me backtrack a little bit. While I had decided to stay at the job, it was some challenges that I was kind of fed up with. So in the apartment that I lived in, I didn't have no heater, air. Something ended up biting me in my sleep several times. I don't know what it was, but I had bumps and bites all over my body. It wasn't like when I was in Dallas when I had an amazing maintenance crew to come help me with stuff. It was kind of like, this is what it is. And the president told me that. He was just kind of like, this is what it is. This is what you're going to get. This is what it is. You basically get with it and get lost. It had ended up being a snake in my apartment. Like, it was just real uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable. I was not resting. By this time, my peace really was disturbed. And God knew. But I still had got a word like, hey, just basically sit tight. Like, I know you're looking, but just be still. So I obeyed the word because I believe in prophecies. I believe when the Lord is trying to speak. He also, the thing about it is that was a confirmatory word. He was also speaking some of the same things to me. So I was like, okay, God, I'm leaving this in your hands. And so I had fully committed, even through all that uncomfortable, nasty mess. I said, Lord, if this is your will, I'm going to do it because, I mean, that's the safest place. And all this stuff was happening kind of together. And ultimately, they gave me the runaround. They knew they wasn't keeping me, but you know how people do that, you know. So they decided to give my position to the weekend worker, and they offered me the weekend worker's position, which they knew I wasn't, well, I ain't gonna speak on them because I'm not in the head. But I wasn't taking the weekend position just because of the simple fact I do a lot on the weekends, and it was already a lot because in my role in the evening time I could not leave. So that was no weekly Bible study. Anything that came up during the week, I wasn't at. Okay, and I did that for 11 months because it was a full-time position, and so the students went to school in the daytime and they came to the residence hall at night. So I was ultimately responsible for them. So August 5th was my last day, and it is actually October 5th. Hopefully this video get up okay in time. But anyway, it's been 2 months since I have not been working there, and that is the reason why I am no longer employed. They did a lot of, unfortunately, just unprofessional and shady stuff, just the way they handle things. But you know, I serve a God who is my vindicator, okay? He's my father, I ain't worried about that. So I went to North Carolina. As you can see, I've posted the vlogs about that. I went to North Carolina for a week. I knew I had that speaking engagement. And then I am going to Malawi, Africa. Y'all, I'm going to Malawi, Africa on October 15th through November 1st. I have not talked about it, but you will see content geared toward that. I'm going on a mission trip with my church. And so I said that to say, I'm going on that trip, and so that is why I haven't been heavily applying for jobs, because I'm in the space now where I'm really trying to see what the Lord is saying. If he wants me to stay in Mississippi, if he wants me to relocate, whatever the Lord is saying, I want to follow him. There have been too many times where I have kind of went my own way, and I wasn't trying to just be rebellious, but I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I just knew every single thing that was best for me, but no. And so I'm in that space where I am really trying to follow the Lord's plan and follow the Lord's will. And so I didn't want to start applying for jobs knowing I was taking 2 big trips, and then I didn't want them to think I wasn't reliable or, girl, you ain't ready to work. So I kind of waited before applying. That's that. I have also learned the type of jobs that I just really do not want to work, and I'm not trying to be picky, but I know my personality and I don't want to waste nobody's time. So my goal right now, really, I desire to be a school social worker. I know you're like, girl, you just at a boarding school. I was not in any social worker position. So I really want to be a school social worker. In the high school is my main preference. I will go to middle school. The Lord has called me to work with youth, to minister to youth. If you know my story, it's evident, and I can't run from that. That's just what it is. So I really want to work with high school students. I really have a passion for those, the age range, like really 12 to 18. I'm passionate about that. That's what I really want to do. I really have learned that there are certain roles that I desire, and I think it's okay to ask God, like, hey, this is what I want. Now, of course, if he has another plan for me, I'm going with it. I got to. I can't not. I'm also in just the current state of just like really trying to deal internally with things that I should have been dealt with. Just certain ways about myself that I ain't feeling. And I know God ain't feeling. It ain't no secret, but I want to be a wife. I'm gonna be a wife very soon. And so even with that, just working out certain things with relationships internally, like if I'm gonna be somebody's wife, I gotta come with it, okay? I gotta be right. I can't be having certain ways in my personal relationships. I can't be treating my personal relationships any old way. My parents, my siblings, people that I love near and dear. My actions need to match my words. And so I'm just on that journey. Like, it's been a lot though. It's been a lot living at home again because this ain't my room. I ain't got no room no more. But my former room, my little sister is in because she outgrew this room. And if she outgrew this room, oh baby, I never was supposed to be in it. So it's a journey, it's a season. I wanted to share about it currently while I'm in it this time because I just feel like the transparency is needed. I don't want you to ever think I got it together. And so some decisions I made, the Lord didn't tell me. But in his grace and mercy, he is helping me navigate through. I'm in a good place. I'm ready to move out though. I'm not gonna hold you. I enjoyed when I lived by myself. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed having my own space and place. And so I just think that as a almost 27-year-old woman, in 20 days, I'll be 27. As that adult, I just don't think I'm fit to be in a small room, you know? That's just what it is. But one thing I am grateful for is my parents, because honestly, they don't owe me nothing. And I was talking to my dad before I even came home officially. He was just like, you know, you can stay here as long as you need. And that just warmed my heart. It really did, because I realized some people are not privileged and fortunate to have that. And I am thankful. I am grateful for parents who are just willing to work with me and just kind like that. Like, they don't owe me nothing. I'm 26, they don't owe me a thing. So I'm checking my notes to make sure I covered everything. It's just my desire to do what God is calling me to do, be what he's calling me to be healthy, be whole, act like a daughter, live like a daughter, live according to the word, not be a hypocrite. But that's just the season I'm in. And so that's my 1 year update. It's been 1 year since I've been back in Mississippi. I worked at my last job for 11 months. And I appreciate what it taught me. I always am looking for the lesson and stuff, because I'm trying to grow so that I don't go backward, but I move forward. And that is why I share with you, because it is my hopes that if I can help one person not make the decisions and the choices that I've made, or if I can help someone just avoid some of the turbulence that I had to endure for no reason that I put myself through, that's my purpose. And so if you feel like this video was helpful or useful, please share it with somebody. If you feel like you like my page, you like what I be talking about, do not be selfish, okay? Share the link with somebody, and you make sure you stay around too and subscribe. If you want to connect with me on Instagram, sweet_Mary K. Your girl on TikTok too, sweet_Mary K. I would love to see you in my next video. And so until next time, I will talk to you later. Bye.